What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal adjacent podcast from two dudes who are really there. One half of your hosting duo, Jay Horskow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM, Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how's it going?
Great, man.
Great. All right. So, what are we talking about this week, everybody? This week, we're talking about the big four of metalcore. So, if you had to pick the four bands that best represent metalcore, who would they be? This was an interesting one for me because there were some lazy picks, there were some good picks, and there were some picks where I was like, yeah, this is who I just have to go with. So I think we might, I'm gonna guess right now that we have maybe two of the same bands.
Two out of the four.
Two out of the four is my guess.
Okay.
Okay. So Tim, you want to go first? Your first pick?
Yeah. My first pick, and if you don't have this on your list, it's absolutely crazy. My first pick is Killswitch Engage. They are definitely the biggest band in metalcore. I don't care what
Yes.
anyone says.
Yes. The first album comes out in 2000. So the other thing I was looking at is dates, right? Because who's been doing it the longest? Who is the true progenitor of the sound? That first, I think the EP. Wait a minute, the first EP came out in when was that?
You talking about the first
The first release they
self-titled?
ever did. They
The
never
f-
did an EP. It was a full length.
yeah, it's the first self-titled.
Yeah, it was self-titled. Oh shit! Excuse me. That was I was on July 4th, 2000. It came out on Ferret, and I remember the opening song is what Temple from Within,
Oh shit, I can't
which
remember.
it was re-recorded on Alive or Just Breathing, but it was down on the
Yeah.
B side. Yeah, Temple Within with From Within, and I just remember they opened Killswitch opened the WSOU 15th anniversary bash, and I remember walking in, hearing them play that song, and I'm going, "Yo, these guys are awesome." Like I just thought they were awesome. But I mean, how many albums are we in now, Tim? They've done
Dude,
one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Nine albums.
god damn.
Newest one was
I gotta get my
25th,
camera in
25.
focus. Hold on.
Ooh.
It's being annoying. There we
There it
go.
goes. All right. I mean,
They have 9 albums.
they have nine albums. They started on Ferret with the self-titled. Then they went to Roadrunner for Alive or Just Breathing, which I think is their best album, hands down.
Yeah.
They did one, two, three, four, five more on Roadrunner. And Disarm the Descent was Jesse Leach's comeback album, right? Yes.
Yep.
After that, they did Incarnate with Roadrunner. Then they went to Metal Blade for
Oh
the
shit,
last two.
okay.
Um, I remember loving Alive or Just Breathing, and I I thought I thought the combination of music sounded great. I thought his vocals were amazing, and when he left the band, I was kind of bummed, and I didn't really get into the Howard years. Like, I mean, no offense to Howard, the dude can sing. They
Oh
put
yeah.
on a great show, right? That whole tour they did with Shadows Fall and Lamb of God, and like the rotating opener was Unearth and God Forbid. Like they put on an amazing show, but it just wasn't the same for me. And I will say, I saw the comeback tour for them, and I was blown away.
Yep.
I was
I
like,
was there
holy
as
shit,
well.
these dudes still got it.
Was with Devin Townsend, right?
No, it was at the Electric Factory,
Okay, this was at the Troc.
and um, who
Wasn't it
was the
Devin
opener?
Townsend, Animals as Leaders, and Killswitch?
No, but Devin Townsend did play with Animals as Leaders as the Troc Movements was the opener.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
were at that show. Um, who was that? It was Killswitch, but they played with somebody. Hold on, I'm gonna start the archives. Hold on, vamp for a second.
Yeah, I could have swore that
Mm.
Killswitch played the Troc the same. I swear Killswitch was at that Devin Townsend show. I don't know why I feel like it was.
All right, hold on, hold please. It
I swore they
was.
co-headlined. Dude, I'm pretty sure they did because I remember Adam running around like a fucking maniac, and it was like 100 degrees out. Are you looking through your
Yeah, I'm
ticket
looking through
book?
the archives here to see where that was because I know I
Speaking of
saved.
that, we have an episode we did like literally 4 years ago when someone didn't come on and we had like nothing to talk about, so we just
Hmm.
like went through your book. We should post that up. It probably looks and sounds horrible.
Yeah, it definitely does. We should definitely do it though.
Put it out on like a Monday real quick.
Where was that?
It's just
Uh,
like you going through all the show, your
yeah, I remember that. It
tickets and
was
shit.
Jay. It
Yeah.
was Jay's ticket stub extravaganza. Um, I can't. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to look, but I know I saw Kill Switch on there. Oh wait, it's before Animals as Leaders. It was
I probably was at this show as well. I've seen them a good
Origin,
amount of times.
Full of Hell, Noisem. Oh, it was Lamb of God. Lamb of God,
Okay.
Kill Switch Engage, Testament, and Huntress.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, and this was back in, hold on, I can tell you, this was in 2013.
That sounds about right.
Yep, that was right when Disarm the Descent came out. Yeah, and I remember the wife and I had tickets, and she didn't feel good. She didn't want to go. She's a Lamb of God fan, and she just didn't feel good. So I texted our buddy Dom and I said, "Yo, why don't you meet me?" And it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, as that aside, we just totally went off to the left there. I just think Jesse's vocals are unbelievable.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I nothing against Howard, great singer. Love him in every other band. He didn't do it for me in Killswitch. There's just something about it. I didn't care. I didn't really like them records that much. Like I kind of feel like they just tried to go like Uber radio on a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
That second self-titled record is horrendous. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, not good.
But
Not good.
from Disarm till now, they're all good records. I mean, the new one is great. I loved it. A lot of good riffs in that. Recording's great. Adam does a great job with production. So good stuff, man.
I remember the end of Heartache being a big deal. Like that was a big deal. What was it? Rose of Sharon? Was that the song, Tim? That everybody
Yeah, they did that cover.
yeah. Yeah.
Who was that? Holy Diver. Ugh.
Not my thing.
Nope, not my thing at all.
Not my
But
thing.
I
Not my thing
mean,
at all.
if you're gonna do a big four of metalcore and you don't have kill switch in there, there's something wrong with you. You're
Right.
gonna get them dudes that are like, "Oh no, man, Wings of Scarlet." Shut up.
Yo, they're putting that EP out on vinyl with extra songs that they never released. I am so stoked.
Yeah, I seen you post that.
I am so stoked. I'm so glad I went to the last Hellfest. They were one of those bands that I never thought I'd ever see. Them, Forever is Forgotten,
Oh yeah, remember
um,
Winter Solstice?
Winter Solstice. I actually looked them up because I was going to put them on this in this episode, but they're 2005. Um, who was the other band? I got to see Dead to Fall. I got to see Acacia Strain back when Vinny was tiny.
Oh yeah,
They played with three guitars and they scared the shit out of everybody.
yeah, oh yeah.
Um,
I seen them in Philly when they first started coming around.
so much good stuff. So much good stuff. Okay, so you did one that you know that I have. I'm gonna do one that I know you have. As I Lay Dying.
Yep, that's
I
number
mean,
two.
whether you like the band or not, that's actually kind of irrelevant. Uh, Frail Words Collapse was a monster.
Oh yeah,
This came out. Numetal. This helped kill Numetal dead. This was where the tide truly shifted because I noticed when I looked at release years, their first album was 2001, which was good, but at Frail Words Collapse is where they really kind of hit their stride.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
it was on Metal Blade, 94 Hours Forever were all over the place. Um, I think that Tim Lambesis is obviously an ass hat, obviously,
Yeah,
but there is no denying the influence that this band had on that sound. They came out and then, so this is 2003 with Fair Words Collapse. If you look at the stuff that comes after, right? So Under Oath goes metalcore in '04. As blood August Burns Red comes out in '04. Winter Solstice comes out in '05. So this was a whole chunk of bands that these guys influenced.
oh fuck yeah. The records, all the records after Frail Words Collapse were fucking monsters. I mean,
Shadows of
huge,
Security, I remember being massive as well.
massive records, man. But apparently before they broke up, they made like 14 million off of them records. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Dude, that is insane. But I will say this though, if you go back and listen to those first two albums, they hold up well. They're not bad.
Yeah,
They're
a lot
not
of good
bad.
mosh parts.
Yes, they're not bad. But the other side of that is they now with our ears attuned to what metalcore really sounds like. It sounds kind of generic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
absolutely. You're 100% correct. But at the same time, when a band sells that many records and they're as big as they were, you have to put them in the big four, whether or not you like them or not. I don't like them. I mean, he came back. People gave him second chances. It's whatever. Them do you can do whatever you want. But after seeing the way he acts after, you know he's a dickhead.
Yeah, he's definitely an asshole. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So fuck that guy. I hope he never, comes back after that because you can't be doing that shit, man.
No, no.
Beating women and shit. Like, come on, dude. Obviously, when you beat a girl after you come out of prison for trying to get your wife killed, you know he's a
Yeah,
dickhead.
your moral character is no longer questionable. It is definitively bad.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like, come on, dude. You can't hide that now. You can't say,
just
oh, I
fucking,
was on
just a
steroids.
scumbag. Just a scumbag. Okay.
But to what we're talking about, they're definitely in the mention. They have to be.
Did you see them live back
Yeah,
in the day?
I see him at Ozfest. I've seen him at the Troc. I've seen him many times.
I'm pretty sure I saw them at the TLA, but I'm not sure who with. I'd have to go back through the diary.
Yeah, dude, the Troc had so many good shows, man. I miss that place.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of my favorite venues, and especially when you turn 21, because you can go upstairs and sit in the seats and watch the show and have a beer and
The
kind of not be
best.
bothered. Yeah.
The best venue. TLA's great, but I like the Fillmore, man.
Yes, I do like the Fillmore. I actually really like the Brooklyn Bowl too. Good shows at the Brooklyn Bowl. Who's coming up there? Fuck. I think it's the tour that's called what Carnifex, Suffocation, Devourment. It's just like just beat your eardrums for
Yeah.
5 bands. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Tim. So we got two down. Who's your number three?
So my number three, this might surprise some people, is Parkway Drive. They're
No
Australian,
shit.
but they're fucking huge. They were huge, dude. I mean, them records are so fucking good. Them first two records are great, man.
And they still have a career.
Nowadays, yeah, nowadays they're super generic and they're trying to break through to mainstream. I don't think it's really working for them. Like the newest record was just like all them chant songs and
Hmm.
brother this, fuck that shit. But like them first two records are undeniably great, man.
Would you put Bring Me the Horizon in the same vein as them?
No, not even
Because they
close.
started out as a really heavy band, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they just, hey, we're gonna be on the radio.
If we're talking about nowadays, yeah, they're definitely in the top, the big four of like that right
Okay.
now. But no, back then, no. Parkway Drive, coming from Australia and having the fucking influence they had, huge. That's just my opinion. I think they're, you know, most of their stuff's really good. And I don't
Okay.
blame them for like doing what they do or doing what they're doing now. I don't blame them because if you're a musician, you want to live off of being a musician. There's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't click for me now. But I mean, dude, think about it. Like they're the biggest band in Australia.
Yeah.
If it when it comes to heavy stuff, I don't care. I'll fight you to the death. They are the biggest band there. Probably the biggest band in obviously what's that other country right next to them? New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. Yeah.
I'd say Japan wise, since they're probably the big they have to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, and they're like the I think Adam D did their first two records. I think he produced both of them.
Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape.
Yeah, because that dude, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but
I
dude,
have heard it, but honestly, not in a long time. Right.
yeah,
Just
and
not really.
I know people are gonna be like, oh,
Adam D did the first album,
what's the first album called again?
Killing with a Smile.
Yeah, great,
He did
great
the
record.
second album, Horizons.
Yep.
Who did the third? He did not do the third album.
Who did the third one?
Joe Barisi.
I don't know who that is.
And this is when they moved to Epitaph as well. So,
Epitaph.
oh
I've
wait,
heard
no,
of that.
they were on Epitaph. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we've got As I Lay Dying, we've got Killswitch Engage, we've got Parkway Drive. My number three pick, probably going to be floored that I picked this band, Caliban.
But, no, no, I'm not floored at all because I wanted to put Caliban in here, and I should have, but I just felt like there's another band that was just bigger. But I agree 100% with you. Anything Eurocore They're the biggest band. I just
So
listened to their new record today.
the first album comes out in 99, Small Boy in Gray Heaven. They do Vent. They do the split with Heaven Shall Burn. The band that to me establishes metalcore as a solid genre was Shadow Hearts, and this is 2003. I remember picking that up and being
Absolutely.
like, yo, how many albums do you think they've done since then, Tim?
9,
11.
11.
11 albums. The first couple were on Life Force. They did some Roadrunner, some Abacus. I
Yeah.
remember the Abacus album coming out. Century Media, and it's been Century Media since.
Yeah, they've
But
been on Century for a
this is why I
while.
think they're the big four because they did that sound in early in 03.
Yep.
And they definitely influenced all the Euro metalcore bands that have stolen from them since. But
Absolutely.
not only did they arguably create the sound across the Atlantic, they have built a consistently solid discography since. They've tweaked the sound here and there, but for the most part, you're getting Caliban whenever you put in the Caliban album. They're like
Yeah.
Black Dahlia Murder. You know what you're getting. If you don't like it, why would you ever listen to it? But it is what it is. But when I was doing my homework for this and thinking and thinking and thinking, I'm like, yeah, it has to be Caliban because they kind of started it all.
We're almost 3 for 3, dude, because I literally was going to put Caliban instead of Parkway Drive, and I'm like, I can't do it. Don't get me wrong, though. I've said this many, many times on this podcast. They are the purveyors of that mega mosh sound.
Yes.
Like Vent and Small Boy, them fucking mosh riffs are so disgusting. I remember they played here at like, it was in Ben Salem, I believe. I think Bob from A Life Once Lost booked them. And it was fucking mayhem, dude. It was like people hanging from chandeliers and shit. It was
Like that
fucking
the old Palanga
crazy,
Park
dude.
videos where they literally lost their minds. Yeah.
Adam got knocked over a merch table. I'm It was fucking crazy, dude.
That's
That band
awesome.
was so sick back then. And then when they got signed to Abacus, I think that was for Shadow Hearts, right?
Abacus was the Undying Darkness.
The Undying Darkness, yeah. But them, I think their first 5, 6 records are bangers, every one of them. And then when they got to Century Media, they kind of went like the new record I just listened to today. It's really good. The production's a little weird. It sounds weird, but dude, they still have the mosh parts. They started adding in the singing on like probably the third, fourth record. But
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think it was bad at all.
Mm.
But I do not disagree with you at all, man. So we were almost 3 for 3.
That is kind of wild. Okay, so who's up? You? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're up. Oh,
Number 4 for me is All That Remains. To me, I mean, they were just fucking monsters back then. I mean, they were fucking touring nonstop. Their
holy
records
shit.
sold a lot. What
It's mine.
is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, dude.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of this band. Full disclosure, not in the sense of their music doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah,
But that being said, to your point, produced by Adam D. The first album was all right. The second album was where they really hit their stride. What was the name of that? The name was This Darkened Heart,
yeah,
2004, right? Um, I so one of those struggles I had with this list, Tim, because at first I was like, oh, it's going to be Lamb of God, it's going to be Shadows Fall, it's going to be God from on Earth, and it's going to be who else? And then I stopped and I went, wait, Lamb of God's a metal band.
yep,
On Earth is definitely a metal band. So then it forced me to get really anal retentive with what about Devil Driver? You know, you remember Embrace the End? That one came up. Winter Solstice came up. All these bands I was cycling through in my head. I'm like, nah, it's metal. It's metal. It's metal.
yeah,
It's death metal. Yeah, and yeah, All That Remains.
yep. You can't put Shadows Fall in there because they were just a modern metal band.
Yeah, they were not metalcore. They were a metal band.
Yeah, and
I remember
the
hearing
best to ever do it, in my opinion.
Crushing Belial for the first time on WSOU and being like, yo, this guy's voice is something else.
Yeah, that was. I mean, and then what's his name from All That Remains was on the first record.
Filibati.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people hate that dude because he's like a trumper and he's
Well,
like pro gun and blah blah blah
he's
whatever.
outspoken. He's
Yeah,
just outspoken, and and you know what? I'll give him credit because I've listened to the interviews he has with Doc Coyle, and he defends his he makes an argument for his opinion. And you know what?
And he's
Ever
not
if
like a
ever
D-bag about it.
Right. He's not like, oh fuck you, you deserve to get deported. He's not an asshole. It's just he has an opinion, and that's what he cops to. And you know what? I mean, if everybody could have those intelligent debates where they can actually defend their position, the people who can't defend their position would realize very quickly, hey, maybe I got a shitty argument.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
God, I so wish I picked Caliban. It would have been crazy if
That would
we
have
were
been
four for
wild if the
four.
four of us went to the same. Okay. All right.
It's funny because like I was doing this episode and I was doing the same thing. I'm like, what about this band? This band? I'm like, nah, it's all that remains. It has to be
Yeah.
because they were just huge back then. I mean, I remember seeing them at the Electric Factory. It was sold out, and this was like 2009. They were sold out at 2009, and this is, I mean, what did they start? 2002 ish.
Hmm.
If you could sell out the Electric Factory 7 years later, you know you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was what Five Finger Death Punch was the co-headliner. Or no, I'm sorry. Five Finger was the headliner. It was Five
Jeez.
Finger, All That Remains, Hatebreed, and I forgot the opener. That was a sick show. And back then, I didn't really hate Five Finger. I don't hate Five Finger at all. I just think they're kind of corny. But like they were actually really good that night. Like they sounded really good. And the only reason I checked them out back then is because I was a huge fan of Motograder. So
Right. Um, yeah, I'm not to the same. I don't. I just it is corny. It's so corny that I really can't get into it. It's kind of like Disturbed. There are people who
yeah,
love Disturbed and say they make great music, but I'm sorry, I have no interest because he's so cheesy
yeah,
that it's like and I have the same feeling with stuff like Papa Roach.
yep.
It's just like
I
no.
can't stand the name.
Yeah, it's terrible. But it is kind of funny that we went 3 for 4. Well, I guess we should have taken the over on the two. But so Tim, were there any bands that you could say is a near miss, like you really, really considered, but you were like, I just couldn't do it?
A near miss. I mean, I can't say Unearth because they're more of like a.
They started as a hardcore band and then they were a metal band.
But I mean, they were big. God forbid you can't put in there because it's like they didn't last.
Right, right.
To me, Big Four, like the Big Four metal. What is it? It's Metallica, Megadeth,
Anthrax and
Slayer.
Slayer, yeah.
All them bands had huge careers. All them bands could still sell out. So they're the definite four. Although I'd put Testament in over Anthrax any day. Um,
Hmm. So I mean, some people do, some people put in Exodus,
yeah,
right? I mean, yeah.
but near miss it. It's hard, man, because there's so many bands that you could say. In it just in popularity wise, it has to be the five. We'll say five because you said Caliban, so
Yeah.
it's hard though, man. Because
Because
this
then
is an
you
episode where I want people to tell us what they think it is.
Yes, and what made it even more difficult is you really have to get to that anal retentive splitting of genres
Yeah,
because okay, well, some would say metallic hardcore started with Hatebreed. Well, yes, that's metallic hardcore, which is arguably where metalcore comes from. But then you have to get anal retentive and say no, no, no. Metalcore is metal with hardcore influences as opposed to hardcore with metal influences. So now you've got Caliban. Now you've got Killswitch. Now
yeah.
you've got where Shadows Fall is way more of a straight up heavy metal band. Lamb of God is now a heavy metal band. God forbid was a metal band. I mean, and even you can even say anybody that was part of the new wave of American heavy metal, that was all metal. It wasn't metalcore, right?
Yeah.
Kamira. By the way, did you listen to that episode of Meet Meep where Ryan Rainbow had the guys from Kamira on to talk about the self-titled album?
Was it recent?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think I follow his pie. I gotta go on there and check that
He
out.
he did like 5 episodes in one day. And he
God
had the
damn.
bassist from Nickelback was on talking about them, which I'm sorry, Nickelback writes bangers. And he's like, yeah, dude, I love Slipknot. I'm really into Slipknot, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it was Chris, Rob Arnold, and Mark Hunter. And
Oh,
they
nice.
talked
Okay.
about the self-titled, and they talked about how they found Kevin Talley and how he pushed them with the tempo. And yeah, it was interesting to listen to. Interesting. And this is where their relationship with Roadrunner starts to fall apart. And
Yeah. Let me
yeah.
ask you this. If we had to do a big four of like smaller metalcore bands, who let's brainstorm real quick. Would you say All Out War would be in there? Or would you consider that more of a hardcore band?
I would put them in the same vein as Hatebreed, metallic hardcore.
Yeah.
Smaller metalcore bands.
Like I know you can't really call this band a metalcore band, but their influence and how big they are, it's one of them has to be Dylan Church playing.
Yeah, I mean Dillinger. I
I mean,
mean
Botch.
Botch. Um,
That's hard
fuck.
too, because that dude, that
Yeah.
list back for the list of bands that you could just
Yeah, but now
say
now I'm back at like Embrace the End. I'm back at Winter Solstice. I'm back at those
disembodied.
um August Burns Red,
Yeah, all right.
right?
I'm glad you brought that up. If we're talking about the biggest metalcore band right now, it has to be them.
Oh, absolutely. If you, anybody who
Yeah.
goes to the Christmas show would tell you they still draw. They still have a huge following. Um, yeah, yeah.
I hear. All right. So let's think of two more for like a smaller undercard metalcore. So I say this Dillinger has to be in there because they're Converge.
It's too hardcore for me.
Yeah, yeah.
How about uh, all right, so let me look
Can't
up
say
some.
between the Buried and Me because
Some
they're
people
more
love to throw
like
Shy Halud in there. They're more of a hardcore band. I'm sorry.
yeah, they're more of
Um,
a like a melodic hardcore band to me. But Shy Halud, yeah.
Marauder.
Master Killer is a fucking great record though.
I'm trying to see. Some Integrity's a hardcore band. Starkweather, more
And
hardcore.
yeah,
Rorschach, more hardcore. Kiss It Goodbye, more hardcore.
Every Time I Die, but they're more
What
of
do you
like
think about
a
Overcast?
they didn't have a long enough career for me to, but they were definitely super influential.
Here you go. Coalesce, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, God forbid you could put in that undercard of a big four, I think, because I mean, they didn't have the longest career, but they were, I mean, Determination was a huge record.
I'm trying to see. There's
18
stuff
Visions.
that people 18 Visions listed here. Avenged Sevenfold,
Yeah,
first album,
absolutely.
right?
Definitely.
First album is definitely a metalcore album. Um, Darkest Hours,
eh,
melodic death metal. Prayer for Cleansing, metalcore, arguably, maybe.
super influential, but they only had what, the one record EP.
How about Norma Jean?
Yeah.
Misery Signals.
Yeah, oh fuck yeah.
I'm trying to think who else would
I'm
be.
gonna say Every Time I Die, even though they're not a metal core band, but they're come on, dude.
I find them as one of the most amazingly difficult bands to categorize because they consistently change their sound. How about
Yeah.
Bullet for My Valentine?
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Dude,
a
they
melodic
could
metalcore
they could
band.
almost hit the big four if they came out. Well, I don't remember when their first record was, but yeah, they're for UK, they're definitely the biggest band in UK.
You know who came up in a lot of my their debut was 2005. You know who came up in a lot of my digging on this, and I wasn't sure if I could include them or not.
Trivium.
Atreyu.
Oh, Atreyu. Yeah.
Trivium came up, and Matt Heafy's too good of a guitarist to be lumped in with metalcore. He's a
Yeah,
metal
right.
guy. Sorry, I'm not a Trivium fan, but yeah, I mean he's too good.
Yo,
Uh,
Ascendancy is such a good record.
how about
I actually think you would really like Ascendancy. It sounds like Metallica.
I will
And
check
it's
it
hard.
out.
It's weird me saying that because I don't really care for Metallica, but Ascendancy is fucking good, dude. That's like riffs upon riffs on that record. Let me ask you this. Let's go to this one. From 2020 to now, who you think would be the biggest four metalcore bands? That's a
2020 to
crazy.
now.
That's a crazy to answer because I have no clue.
I mean, Parkway Drive is still huge.
Yeah.
Um, what about the Acacia Strain?
Fuck yeah.
They're huge. Still draw, still tour. Um,
Could we say like Kubla Khan?
yeah, I guess.
See, this is super hard.
Yeah, I mean,
Bring up that Ephira Trust Kill flyer.
how about after the
Let's
burial?
nah.
What else do we got here? Oh, here we go. So, Orthodox,
I think they're going to be
Boundaries,
Orthodox is going to be huge after this
Orthodox
record.
and Boundaries, both drawing big crowns now. Throne is a hardcore band. I wouldn't put Varials in that conversation.
You think
If
Throne's a hardcore band?
Yes, Throne is absolutely a hardcore band. Every song is like 2 minutes. Yeah, it's a hardcore band. What was I supposed to pull up?
The Fira Trust Kill
Oh,
flyer.
Hellfira.
There you go,
Yo,
Hellfira.
that lineup. Are you going?
Nah.
All right, let me see here. All right. All right, so I got it up. We have Prayer for Cleansing, Dying Fetus, 18 Visions, Beyond Repair, Disembodied. It Dies Today. Do
I
we
wouldn't
miss
put them in a
them?
big four, but
Um, oh God, Haywire, Balmora, one line drawing, Scarab, and the Invocation of Nehek. No, now you're getting down into the weeds, right?
how about Zayo? Could we put them in there?
See, I put them as a hardcore band. I mean, arguably you could because the later stuff definitely has a more of a metallic tinge. I mean, Balmora,
They're too new.
yeah,
I don't. I could consider Zayo metalcore. Their first like three records are super metalcore.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Who else is on this
I
lineup?
mean, Liberate to me is one of the best records ever, and that I don't even know what to call that record.
Oh, that
It's like
might actually
super
be. That
hard to
might be
think what that is.
metalcore. That might be. That might be. Now you got me thinking. What was the name of that band? It was Last Perfection, the New York band. Yeah, they were a fucking metalcore band, but they had one album and that was it.
This is the type of episode where I wish it was like live and people could call in because fucking people would be calling in like, "Hey, you missed this or this,"
Well,
and then we would
people are
get some.
listening right now and screaming at
Oh yeah,
their machine, right? Like
oh
these
yeah.
fucking idiots. Um,
I
drawing
think
conclusions.
we
That was
definitely
first.
nailed the big four though.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And it's funny that we did not collaborate. Tim and I didn't share any notes at all. So we went into this cold and we had the same 5 bands.
Yeah,
So that's pretty impressive. It's pretty
I'm
impressive. All right.
actually surprised because I thought you were gonna come out with some ridiculous shit. To tell you the
Mm-mm.
truth, that's what I thought was gonna happen.
There was some other stuff where I dove down, but like because I you know what I went through? I remember getting huge orders from Very Distro. And this was the
I
time
love
that
Very.
metalcore was the thing. Let Very Distro and Lumberjack. And like a lot of that was hardcore. And then a lot of that was the weirder, skronky kind of stuff that Deathwish had. Like, do you remember The Power and the Glory?
Oh yeah,
Or some of those bands. And I remember like Let It Die from Detroit, but they were a hardcore band. And all the Bloody Sunday and all the stuff,
Turmoil.
Embrace Today, but it's all hardcore.
Yeah,
It's not anything
Turmoil.
metalcore. Yeah, man, some good
For the
stuff.
love of.
Yeah, yeah, Jesus. All right, everybody. So hope you enjoyed that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please put it in the YouTube comments. We really, really want to hear from you. We got some pretty good comments over the last couple episodes. It's been kind of fun. So, new episodes every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. New reaction vids every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Start your lunch or start your day with Tim and I reacting to some shit. New Breed _ podcast at both Twitter and Instagram. Newbreedpodcast at gmail.com. For your audio complaints, 267-297-4627. Leave it and we'll play it on the show
Yeah, get some
until
balls, people.
yeah, call in and heckle us. We're down for it. So until next Wednesday when this episode comes out, Jay and Tim saying cheers.